Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're strapping in for a really fascinating look at the hidden forces behind our decisions. We're talking about Richard H. Thaler, the Nobel winner, and his groundbreaking book, Misbehaving.
And our goal here is pretty simple, but it's also crucial. We want to figure out why we all make these, well, seemingly irrational financial choices.
Right. Why do we panic and sell our stocks at the worst possible time? Why do we overspend?
Or, why do we treat $100 we won differently than $100 we earned? It's the same money.
Exactly. And the genius of Thaler's work is that he just blew up the foundation of classical economics. For decades, everything was based on this idea of the econ, this mythical, perfectly rational person.
Logic machine. No emotions, always making the optimal choice.
And Thaler basically just stepped in and said, look, that person doesn't exist. We're not econs, we're humans. And it's our predictable flaws, our misbehavior, that's the real story.
It really is. And that's where things get interesting. Let's start with maybe the biggest idea he identified, loss aversion.
Okay, let's unpack this one. The finding is that we feel the pain of losing money about twice as much as we feel the pleasure of gaining the same amount. Twice as much. I mean, that feels huge.
It is huge, and you see it everywhere. Thaler talks about what he calls the endowment effect. The basic idea is that the moment you own something, whether it's a stock or even just a coffee mug,
Its value goes up in your mind.
instantly, you demand way more to sell it than you would have ever paid to buy it in the first place. And that explains panic selling perfectly, right? The pain of seeing that portfolio value drop something you own is so intense that you just act irrationally to make it stop.
Ah, okay, that makes so much sense. And that fear, that feeling of ownership, it must also change how we mentally categorize our money, right? Which leads right into his next pillar, mental accounting.
It absolutely does. Mental accounting is just this tendency we have to create separate little buckets in our minds for our money, even though a dollar is a dollar.
You mean like when you get an unexpected tax refund?
Exactly. That's found money or fun money. You'll spend it on a vacation or a gadget without a second thought. But the money from your actual salary,
Oh, that's different. That's serious money. For the mortgage, for bills.
that's the sacred bucket.
Hmm?
And we protect it fiercely. The money is identical, but our brain, it just assigns it different rules.
So Thaler doesn't just point out all our flaws, he actually offers a solution, doesn't he? This is where the nudge comes in.
Yes, and this is where it gets really powerful. A nudge isn't about forcing anyone to do anything. It's about designing choices, making a small, subtle change to the environment that guides people toward a better decision.
Without them even really having to think about it.
Exactly. It gets rid of that need for constant, exhausting willpower.
And the classic example he used to prove this was with retirement savings plans, right?
The perfect example. Instead of making employees actively sign up for a 401k, you just automatically enroll them.
So saving becomes the default. You have to actively choose to opt out.
And participation rates go through the roof. That one tiny change in the architecture of the choice, it transforms people's financial futures.
Okay, so if we connect this to the bigger picture, what does this all mean for us today in this, world of constant distraction?
Well, the relevance is only growing. Think about all the ways our biases are now used against us. Subscription services that are super easy to sign up for but almost impossible to cancel, those are negative nudges. They're using our own inertia against us.
So the takeaway here isn't to try and become some perfect logical econ. That's impossible.
Not at all. It's about building an awareness of these predictable errors we all make, so you can build systems for yourself to avoid the really big, damaging mistakes.
Self-awareness becomes the ultimate financial skill then.
It's the ultimate life skill, really. Understanding that you can set up these little systems, these nudges for yourself, like automating your savings, that just eliminate the battle against your own willpower.
That was really Thaler's genius, I think. Blending psychology and economics to show us that the real economy isn't driven by spreadsheets, but by flawed, fascinating, and predictable human beings.
So if creating systems that make good decisions the easy decisions is the key, we'll leave you with this thought. What's one area in your own life that could benefit from a nudge this week? Where could you change the default setting to make the right choice the easiest one?